everything that was on board the vessel and inside the cabin is just thrown around in complete disarray. And it appeared whoever was on board had left in an extreme hurry. In the past, we had migrants coming over on rafts, inner tubes, really, you know, not as sophisticated as it is now. Today, we're seeing greedy smugglers using organized crime, gathering counterintelligence on the Coast Guard.
After the hurricanes, we strategically positioned our ships behind the hurricane to follow it in and repair any aids to navigation that may have been knocked out due to the storm.
That was one of the first things that was a little bit suspicious. Also the fact that this vessel was found 160 miles south, unmanned, just abandoned for no apparent reason.
This was a search until a minute ago, but it appears these people have been found.
Yeah, and that's what WSVN TV is also reporting on its website. Authorities looking into word that 2 occupants of a downed helicopter may have survived the crash near Ocean Reef. I know that you probably, authorities need to be able to talk to the people on board to find out more about what happened, but do you have any word as to what may have caused this chopper to go down?
I do not. I don't want to speculate on that either. Right now, you know, it's good news that both these people are alive and all right. You know, right now, I just think that we should definitely give a hands out to the people that responded so quickly. FWC, once again, Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Coral Reef Public Works, and our Coast Guard members that responded and got on scene so fast to find these people. Good afternoon, Jane. Basically, as far as those questions are involved, I'm going to have to leave that to the FBI. I really don't have too much information concerning the investigation at this time. I know that the FBI investigators have been working some with our search and rescue controllers to pinpoint more of a location where we should be searching. But as of right now, the main effort of the United States Coast Guard is to try to find these people alive, well, and hopefully get them back to their family as soon and safely as possible.
Yeah, and it's,
you know, we can certainly hope that they do have some sort of flotation device out there that would certainly assist with our search and rescue efforts.
Petty Officer James Judge with the Coast Guard there in Miami.
No injuries. Once the migrants were brought on board, they were offered any necessary food, water, or medical attention. But like I said, there were no injuries during the disabling.
The Coast Guard saying the boat used evasive maneuvering and put the lives of the people on board and the Coast Guard members chasing the vessel in jeopardy.
These people were not only placing themselves in danger, the migrants in danger, they're also placing the Coast Guard members' lives in danger. I mean, evasive maneuvering, and it was starting to get dangerous, and they made the call to disable the vessel. Entered the United States illegally, and the Coast Guard's job is, I mean, that's our responsibility, is to uphold the U.S. law. We were enforcing U.S. policy, you know, I mean, they were breaking the law, and we had to do something about it. Enabling fire to stop a vessel trying to illegally enter the United States with migrants on board.
All right, is this a smuggling operation?
Yes.
All right, what's the fate of the smugglers?
The smugglers have been detained, and they will go through the normal process. They probably will be prosecuted.
And how about those on board, and how many?
There were 34 migrants on board and 2 smugglers. Yeah. I don't know if it was done from a helicopter or from vessel to vessel. I know there were no injuries whatsoever. I mean, our people are trained, and this situation, I mean, fortunately there were no injuries, and they're highly trained people. They deal with this sort of thing, whether it's, you know, drug trafficking or migrant trafficking. These people were breaking the law. It's part of the Coast Guard's job to enforce U.S. policy. The migrants are on board a Coast Guard cutter, and they're awaiting their CIS interviews. And once that's complete, CIS will determine whether or not they'll be repatriated.
James Judge with the Coast Guard. What can you tell us at this point as to what's going to happen with this freighter?
Well, the captain of the port has granted permission for the boat to come back in. It's going to transit up the Miami River. There are going to be some strict guidelines, though. It's going to have to be assisted by a tug. Once they get up there, they're going to be required, once they dock, to actually place a boom around the boat that's going to prevent any possible pollution that may occur. We're able to search 1,900 square nautical miles with 4 different aircraft and 3 different vessels out there. We've also had a search area down by K-Sal. Both are extremely large areas, and it's the one in Miami we're kind of focusing on where or not someone may have disembarked the ship. So currently we're searching for a life raft with hopefully 6 people on board. Or a search and rescue in this case. That's why we're searching. However, that clock is ticking, and it looks like whoever had been on the vessel left in a hurry. It's a Venezuelan flagged vessel, 184 feet long, and this is one of the vessels that makes pretty frequent trips back and forth from Miami to Haiti. They place a boom around it to contain any pollution, and the divers go down and assess any possible damage. There will also be Coast Guard Marine safety officers to make inspections and also conduct an investigation as to see what may have caused this and if anyone is at fault here. I mean, a 184-foot ship, it's a pretty serious deal. I mean, we treat every distress call seriously. we immediately launched like we always do. Once we got out on scene, we started assessing it. We established more communications with the crew and the captain of the vessel. They realized that the water wasn't coming on as much as they had originally thought that it was. They were last inspected October 25th. 2005, and had no discrepancies with that. Miami River, the captain of the port has granted that. However, they're going to have to be required to have a tug escort them up. They'll also have to, once they get up and actually tie off to the pier, they're going to have to place a boom around the boat to maintain any pollution that may be occurring, if there is any. It'll keep it from contaminating the surrounding waters any more than it already is. They'll also be required to immediately have divers go down and assess any damage. I recommend the PPIRB, which is the Personal Emergency Positioning Indicating Radio Beacon. You pull out if you're ever in distress, take this out, hold this above water, turn it on, and it'll basically transmit your position through satellites, and we'll be out there shortly.
It looks like a Miami Vice cell phone. Excellent. Like
the number one thing we want to talk about, though, is people need to register them. If they do buy them, go online, you can register them. That way we have the information of family members we need to contact, anything like that, who it belongs to. We're really trying to press that. Make sure that if there is any pollution, that it will be contained, there will be no more. And there will also be divers going down to inspect the hull of the vessel, assess the damage, and make immediate repairs. We advise them to huddle together in a group. That helps them avoid any possibilities of hypothermia. And then it also gives us, when we're flying overhead doing our search patterns, it gives us a better way to see them. And we don't know if it matches from the boat that sank. However, it's a sign that we can use that to help tighten our search area. If we're going to search and search some more, and then a little bit more after that, we're going to try to find these people safely and maybe get them back home to their relatives and loved ones. There was 9 people on board. All 9 of them did have life jackets, and that's awesome. We had them don their life jackets, and we instructed them to gather around in a group and huddle together.
The Coast Guard teams up with local agents.
The term a needle in a haystack is overused, but that's what it is. At night, I mean, you've got a huge ocean out there, and it's nighttime, it's dark, and it's extremely hard to spot people. Currently we have Coast Guard, FWC, and Palm Beach Sheriff's Office searching. Also Border Patrol just joined in on the search. They're going to be searching, as well as all of our water assets. We've got ATVs on the beaches looking for any debris, and we also have 2 air assets over above flying just